Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. In this video, we will discuss Hartford Dream and how that's going to help you with Hartford Dream wal Ha wal Kha. To begin, I drew out two dals for you, one that is incorrect and one that is correct. And you'll notice that the proportions for Hartford Dream are pretty simple, one nuqta for the first part and two nuqtas for the second part. I'll draw them out in separate pieces now so you see how they look individually. And you'll notice that the second part, this tail region, is the same as Harful Ba. We just don't go all the way. And you'll notice that a common mistake done is people drag too much on the first part. And if you look at the first part without the second one, you'll notice that it looks pretty much fine. But when you put them side by side, you'll notice that this looks very much different than this and how this is incorrect. So make sure you are taking your proportions correctly and that you are not dragging too long on the initial part. Another thing to note is that this ends on the line but begins above the line. Harfud Dal is just like most letters, they rest above the line. So you want to make sure you take enough precautions so that this thing ends on the line. And one thing to measure that is the nuqta. If you notice, this is above the line about one nuqta. So for every letter that is going to be above the line when you're forming words or sentences, you want to make sure that you're taking in the right amount of nuqtas above the line so that you begin in the right place. So when you start forming a word and you know there are going to be letters that are going to be above the line, you need to take into consideration, what letters are going to lift the word up. And by that, you'll know exactly where you should start and it won't be a guessing game. Moving on, let's start with the first part of Harfud Dal. Again, you want to make sure you're holding it on the correct angle. And the first part begins as follows. Bismillah. Simple drag. And at the very end, there is a small, if you've noticed, a small pull out like this. And it'll get us started for the second portion, which again we said is very similar to Harf al-Ba. You begin here, but I'm just going to begin to the side to give you the second portion separately. And it looks as follows, where the end here ends on the line, the beginning is above the line. You'll notice that it looks like it's a curve, and that's correct to an extent. You drag down and then out, so it looks like the whole thing is curved, but in reality it's just the first initial part and then it's a straight drag down. If I hide this, you'll notice that this part is a drag, and if I hide this part, you'll notice that the first part over there is a curve. So this again is two nuqtas. And this right here is one nuqta. Pretty simple. Practice Harfud Dal a few times. Once you get the hang of it, move on to Harful Jim. And you'll notice that Harful Jim, the head, is actually an upside down dal. So if you're able to master the dal, you'll be able to master the head of Harful Jim, where the motions are just the opposite, where you go up one nuqta and then you go out two nuqtas to form the head of Harful Jim, and then there is the body that we'll explain in a separate video. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.